G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another BeamNG.Drive video. I'm here today with some V8 powered Utes. First vehicle, I should say, to hit the trail is a square Grand Marshal. Now, this mod was sort of representing what the old model of the Grand Marshal would look like, and I still reckon that this is one of the best mods for BeamNG.Drive ever. So well done to the mod maker. And yeah, so this will be V8 Utes. We're about to set off, and we're off. Beautiful. Now I've left the first run of these vehicles in. As you can see, this car has a bad diff. Oh, there we go. The wheel spin is intense with this car, and it's mainly only one wheel because it's got an open diff in it, so it doesn't like putting its power to the ground. But in true first sort of complex with relative ease, almost 100 kilometers an hour going through this section here. Up over the bumpy crests, whatnot. Bit airborne as you see the speed rocket up. Yeah, this car wasn't too bad. Pretty slidey, that's for sure, as we get on the brakes for the 90 left. Back down to first gear, use the inside of the corner with a bit of a jump. Second gear, wheel spin. Third gear, when it all grips up, is really tall. So she struggles a bit, but over little jump, bit of air time. Do the rear bumper sort of flap around a little bit. Run down into the final complex, third gear through here for this vehicle. Getting close to the end now. Through the final turn. It gets a little bit out of shape, but I've managed to keep control of it. And across the line. Will we stop? No. We didn't stop. But yeah, all in all, not a too bad of a vehicle. As you can see, she's a bit wounded, but and a one tyre fire doughy to finish it off. But yeah, this car wasn't too shabby, I don't think. Could have been better, could have been a lot worse, but yeah, it is what it is. Looks a bit weird, but anyway, okay. Up next is a Moonhawk Ute, once again another mod. This car is an absolute beast. I love the look of it with those square headlights. You wouldn't even really think that it was originally a Moonhawk, but it is, and let's see how it does down the course. Flurry of wheel spin to start, carrying the wheel spin all the way through turn 1. Automatic gearbox in this thing, which isn't great for this course, but it's not doing too badly. 113 kilometers an hour as we get on the brakes. This first complex here. Back on the power, already at 100 before we tip it in. This thing had incredible acceleration, and the straight line speed was just awesome. We're doing 160, 170. Have to roll off a bit for that corner there because I know cars can get out of shape. We were using most of the available revs at that point as we get on the brakes for the 90 left. Tip it in. Ran a little bit wide on the way in, didn't use all of the grass on the turn-in point, but I guess it is what it is. Now, will we get air over little jump? I needed a bit of a brake, but yeah, big air over little jump. Jettisoned something from underneath the car. Oh, nearly binned it there. That was very, very, very close to being a monumental crash. Yeah, we're flying down this last complex. Coming up to the line and across the line. I got it stopped early this time, so we didn't plough headlong into the building. And once again, one tyre fire doughies, so I sort of gave up. But yeah, this is an incredible car, and I take my hat off to the mod maker. It is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Up next is a D-Series TRC. Now, BeamNG.Drive players might be saying, it's a bloody four-wheel drive. It isn't. I modified it to remove the all-wheel drive system, so it's a little bit fairer. That in turn made the car a lot harder to drive, as you're about to see. Yeah. Likes wheel spin, still spinning, into fourth gear now, still spinning. Yeah. It really does like wheel spin, this thing. In all-wheel drive form, it was an incredible car. Like, it was faster than some of the hill climb cars, because I did accidentally run it in all-wheel drive mode and then went, oh, that's an incredible time. And then thought, oh, it's all-wheel drive, and I wanted to go for rear-wheel drive V8 powered Utes. Well, when I say Utes, as close as I can get vehicles to Utes in some cases. However, yeah, this thing in rear-wheel drive config was horrendous to drive. Worse than the square Grand Marshal when it came to wheel spin. However, probably you carry a little bit more speed through the corners than what you could with the square Grand Marshal. Coming up to a little jump now. Will we get any air? Yes, a little bit of air, not much. I think I made sure I was a little bit cautious over that, just so I didn't end up spearing off the course backwards into a tree. Fourth gear to try and cure some of the wheel spin through this final complex. Try and keep the thing under control. Gets very, very, very bouncy as we fire it towards the finish line. Oh, and across the line, and killed it. Yeah. But apart from it being killed at the end, not a bad car, but it wasn't anything to write home about. There's way too much wheel spin, and I can see exactly why they made it all-wheel drive. But yeah, so not a bad car, but I can see why it was all-wheel drive in the first place. A lot of power. Very, very, very hard to get that power to the ground. Or stop, for that matter. Front of it looks a bit busted, yeah. I didn't stop in time, which killed the engine, but I guess these things happen. Now, hopefully, eventually we might go to the next vehicle, maybe? Aha, here we go. Right. Now, you might be saying, Jordan, that's not really a Ute. Well, it's the closest I could get to a Ute. ETKI series, bootless, I've called it. You can still put your toolbox in the back. And a bike, maybe sideways. Yeah, rear-wheel drive V8. I-Series was, once again, a wheel-spinning monster. However, you could almost get through fourth gear without wheel spinning. Almost. But yeah, this is a turbocharged V8. See, I'm a bit sideways out of there, but all is well. 101 kilometers an hour through that corner. Back on the power for the straight. Now this thing was incredibly hard to control when it got out of control. You know what I mean? Like, some of them you can bring back when they're out of control. This thing you just can't. As you see, I get a bit of a wiggle, hit the banking, and wrap it around a tree. Amazingly, it still ran, but we had another shot. Yeah, so that first run was a bit of a disaster for me. But after that, I sort of got the hang of the fact that it's an out-of-control monster, and sort of put a little bit more effort into actually making sure I could control the car. And yeah, we got on with the job at hand. So the I-Series isn't really a Ute, but I had to attempt to get 6 cars. I think the way the series is going is we'll start to drop down to doing 3 cars an episode as I get a little bit taily through that section again in the grass. Oh, just held on to it. Back down the gearbox into first gear. Turn it in. A little bit of grass. Back on the power. But yeah, I think we'll go to make the series to 3 cars an episode. just to try and, so then I don't have to find 6 cars that are the same sort of criteria, because it's becoming harder and harder to do that. Yeah, we come flying through here. Care to try and keep it turned, and across the line, and we're not stopping. Oh! That is by far the biggest hit on that building. Unfortunately, there's nowhere else I can really finish it. A bit late now, considering I've run quite a few cars down there, so yeah, that's sort of where we're going to have to finish. I'm tempted just to splat them into the buildings anyway, just see what sort of damage we can get, but I'd prefer if that sort of thing didn't happen, but I was pushing this car pretty hard, as you can see by the skid marks. Up next is a D35 extended cab. Not expecting this vehicle to do awfully well, but we'll find out. Well, it's not a maniac wheel-spinning monster, so I mean that's a start, but very, very, very heavy. I should have actually thought about it and maybe weight reducted it a bit. But by this stage I was really struggling to find vehicles, and I loaded up one of the other utes that I got as a mod and it didn't move, and oh god, it's a bit chaotic, but still 97 through that corner there. However, we did understeer a bit. This thing does tend to understeer because the front tyres are relatively small in comparison to the rears. The rears have got dualies on them, so it's the sort of thing where you do struggle with a little bit of front end push. However, not doing too bad. It's definitely not the worst vehicle to drive. I think that Dakar or whatever it was, the Roma I took out last episode, was horrendous. It just kept falling over. I imagine the D35 Pig would as well if I took it down this course. But yeah, this thing just needs a little bit less weight on board, I think. It's just a bit sluggish. Will we get air over Little Jump? No air over Little Jump. Bugger. As we fire down this section here, trying to keep the monster of a truck under control. Down through the last complex, get it turned. Still holding third gear, still going pretty well. Coming up towards the finish line and across the line. Now, will it stop? Almost. Probably the least amount of damage we've done. Apart from the Moonhawk that actually stopped in time. But, not a horrendously bad car. But it was just too heavy. Just a little bit too heavy, I think. Right, so up next, final car is the Grand Marshal. You might see that it's a Wagoon. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a Ute mod, so I found the Wagon mod, took the back off, and look, we're even carrying some spare seats. See, it can be a Ute as well. So we've this car, I needed to actually use a little bit of manual mode on the gearbox to get it up the hill. Then I just flicked it into drive once I got past second gear. It was just easier to actually make it move. Yeah, 100 kilometers an hour as we turn into that corner. They've all been pretty similar when it comes to speed through that corner there. As we finally get it into drive and hammer along. As you can see, it is a taxi Wagoon. Taxis are bad, but this Wagoon bootless, not only is it more like a Ute, but it's weight reduction, #bro. Said that wrong, but anyway. And we completely miss the corner and go for a small spin. Yeah, one of the least, I sort of decided to continue on, but this run was basically barbecued. But I thought, oh, I'll continue on anyway and just, get a feel for what the vehicle's going to be like through this section here. The answer was bad. But we sort of worked with it. We did a little bit of corner cutting and whatnot to try and get the thing to go a little bit faster, and it rolled. Now that's probably one of the most spectacular crashes I've had on the course. Yeah, that was a good one. As you can see, the mod's not brilliant. Those sort of turned into yellow things. Anyway, my second attempt, brakes were just useless, and I just went and visited the town. Anyone for a taxi? Anyone need a pickup? I'm here. Yeah, that wasn't intentional at all. Just wouldn't stop. Got all the way to the final corner, and in the rocks. Rolled it over, and again, a couple more times just for good luck. Still worked, but, yeah, once again, run was basically barbecued. Here is the run that we've finally got complete. A lot of the same crashes with this thing. Like, I had another roll, I missed that 90 left a couple of times. So yeah, the brakes weren't great, it wasn't very stable, but we soldiered on and nearly rolled there. But on the power, 102 kilometers an hour as we turn into there. Yeah, the automatic gearbox in this thing was absolutely useless. At least with the Moonhawk mod, you could have it so the automatic gearbox would actually work properly. This just didn't work at all. Like, I'm not even kidding, this is the worst automatic gearbox ever. I mean, I had to use 1 and 2, which normally, with a good auto, like in that Moonhawk, you wouldn't have to use 1 and 2, manually change it to 1 and 2 and then go into drive. And yeah, my controller was playing up, so the brake pedal was a little bit sticky in this situation, but I think I unstucked it for the end bit. Actually needed a bit of brakes through there anyway. Yeah, so we come up to this final complex where it really enjoyed rolling. I was very careful on the throttle. So we come up towards the finish line and across the line, and will we stop? No, another victim into the house. Well, it's not really a house, it's more of a shed. But still, another claim, the shed claims another victim. We try to do some celebratory donuts, but doesn't really work, and I just go and drive it into the shed for another small bit of fun. Yeah, not a bad car, but probably not really a ute. I mean, it had a V8, and you could put a bike in the back. Right, so here are the times. In first place was the modded Moonhawk Ute with a 124.26. Second was my I-Series on a 124.45. In third was the D-Series TRC on a 128.92. Fourth was the Grand Marshal Bootless, 130.22. In fifth, the Grand Marshal Square, a 131.11. And bringing up the rear, the extended cab, a 137.14. So, our quickest, the Moonhawk modded Ute, went into 9th on the overall leaderboard. My I-Series not far behind it in 10th. Then we had our Wagon Bootless in 13th, with the TRC just ahead of it in 12th. We had the Grand Marshal Square in 15th. Bringing up the rear, the D35 extended cab slots into 17th, faster than the Kodaka, and not too far off the modded gravel Grand Marshal off-roader. Anyway, viewers, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you later.